Alrighty, folks, and welcome back to some more prospect talk here with the Colorado Rockies. And we have two fun ones. Again, this I think is probably the best year in a while for prospects in terms of guys who I think we're really going to get a lot out of this year. I think we've done a really good job at mixing in the talent and where they are in our organization. Really pitching heavy the first couple of years. Obviously, we still have a lot of pitchers, and Vinnie, the first guy we are going to get into. But I think we have a really good position prospect group, which is going to help a whole bunch. And I think we really start seeing how that has moved along. And here's Vinnie for you. He is the number 12 prospect in our system. Was a fourth-round pick last year in 2029. We really like what we see from this kid, and I think he's going to be a pretty good player for us. He features a 3-pitch mix, so again, like all our other starters who have 3 pitches, we will give them a fourth. What that will be to be determined. Does have slider, fastball, changeup, maybe a sinker. Maybe we'll tinker with something, but we're already experimenting, already kind of looking at a couple of pitches to give him, and we'll decide in the offseason what we really want to be focusing on. Right now, slider, 4-seam, and changeup is what he rocks. Decent velocity, and he does have that 10-mile-per-hour difference in his fastball and his off-speed pitches. So, again, he's not going to blow you away with velocity, but that fastball looks a little bit faster when there's a 10-mile-per-hour difference on the changeup, slider, things like that. His slider is his primary pitch and what he likes to use the most. And that, again, like I said, makes that fastball seem faster than usual, especially when you're getting a heavy diet of sliders that are about 82 to 84 miles per hour. Again, 95-mile-per-hour fastball isn't the fastest in the world, but that can sneak by you. He's still raw at 22 years old. However, he's really good at limiting base runners. Doesn't give up a lot of hits, doesn't give up a lot of walks. Did get hit around a little bit in the first inning of this game, but he was, he's for the most part over a stretch isn't going to give you much in terms of base runners. However, if you do get a base runner on, he struggles a bit. He also won't really strike anybody out. So that is his one flaw. He is very fielding dependent. He is very keeping control dependent. And he's not going to get too many strikeouts ever. You'll see in this game, he changed that narrative for me. I think he can be a very effective pitcher. He's a control pitcher like we were talking about. Was using his fastball. So that's kind of just the outline of what Vinnie can do. In this start, he was using the fastball as his primary pitch his first time through. Mind you, this is his first career start in Double-A. He's been in the bullpen for us. We wanted to get him a spot start tonight, and he pitched extremely well. But he was using his fastball as the primary pitch the first time through. It was getting hit around a little bit. He made that switch to that just like really just, again, let the slider go. Like, that's your best pitch. And he settled in from there on out. Man, he really did. His slider might be the best pitch in the organization. So take any pitcher in their best pitch, he might have the best pitch out of everybody. And that's what we love about him as this weapon that we could use. Was dominant past the first inning of his first career start. Like we mentioned, has played mostly, come out mostly in the bullpen. But he was awesome. He went 7 innings, did give up the no decision, gave up only 5 hits, no walks, 1 run, 1 earned, 10 strikeouts. For a guy that doesn't strike out really anybody, he was striking everybody out. He was mixing up things super well. This was an incredibly impressive start for him. Right now, his MLB potential, I think he has rotation potential, but I think he could have some time in the bullpen before he gets that nod. Kind of like Marco Garcia, even though I think Marco Garcia has a much higher ceiling. He's a guy that's probably going to be in the bullpen for a couple years before he settles into the rotation. Our next man, you've been hearing this name for a few years now. It's Lewis Pittman. He's the number 13 number 13 prospect in our organization. Number 11 if you just count all the third basemen in the league. He was acquired via the trade with Oakland. He was one of the pieces we got back in the Jesus Luzardo trade. And he was the first round pick in 2028. And the reason you might have heard this name a couple times, we tried to draft him twice. 2 times we tried to draft him. His first time, I think, in 2025. Then went to college, came back in 2028, and continued to, he got drafted in the first round. And we wanted to get him. He went before us. So this is a guy that we've had our eyes on for a while, which is awesome. Really cool that we were able to add him to the organization in a unconventional way, but still a way that gets him on our team and gives us a chance to add a really good third baseman to our organization. He's an extremely well-rounded bat, but no skill too low, no skill too high. We think of right now. He's been really, really good against lefties this year. Really brought up. He's been hitting a lot of power against lefties this year. Hitting for average against lefties this year. He's just had a really, really, really solid year all around, and especially against lefties where he's made his name. And looking at our major league lineup, lefties are a place that we could improve against. So that really bodes well for him and what could be his future here in Colorado. Good athleticism, an extremely smart base runner. Very good fielder at third base, and we might even try him in the corner outfield in a spot. Again, I think he runs fast enough. Like, he's not going to steal 90 bases, but he gets you maybe 10, 15 a year. And he's a really smart base runner about it as well. So I think that could be a very good, kind of Mookie Betts. Like, Mookie Betts doesn't have very high straight line speed. Now, this is not me comparing Lewis Pittman to Mookie Betts, but hear me out here. Didn't have super straight line speed back in the day, but was always just picking his spots, running really aggressively, running really well, and that's how he got some stolen bases early in his career when he wasn't 90 years old like he is now. 8th in home runs in AAA or in the Pacific Coast League, wherever we are. 6th in RBIs across everybody, which is awesome. In this series that I got to see him against the Las Vegas Aviators, struggled in game 1 with timing. He was just behind everything. He had one really great batted ball, which was the error to win the game, that walk-off, which I think they ended up giving a hit, but it really was an error. That was the one game that, the one ball he smoked. Like, he smoked that pitch. And so he came back, and since that at bat, the rest of my scouting trip here, he was awesome. He was on fire. He was on his game in game 2. He went 3 for 3 in a sac fly with runners in scoring position over my time there, and 5 for 15 overall, a home run, 6 RBI, 2 Ks, a run, and a stolen base. He really did it all. What is his MLB future? Well, we have a long-term third base combo, and let's have that conversation right now. Let's kind of take a look into our organization, kind of look what we're doing. Nolan Gorman, I would like to keep off of third base as much as possible. I think he's our long-term DH, at least for the foreseeable future. Contendants for third base, obviously Sterling Thompson. We see him that he's starting to heat up a little bit, but do I think he's like a guy we're going to give a massive contract to? Probably not. He has a ceiling. So what does that do for us? Well, with all the outfield talent we've been accumulating, that might put Nolan Jones back to third base. But I also don't think that's going to be for maybe another 2-3 years, and that's even if we keep Nolan Jones. He is slated for free agency. I would love to keep him, but we'll have to see what happens there. In our organization right now, Jazz Chisholm can move down to third base with Troy Wood being ready, Enrique Benitez being ready soon. We have obviously Lewis Pittman. Fred Gerber has been playing a lot of third base in the minor leagues. He could be a guy that if he figures it out, he's had a really tough year this year. That could be a guy that snatches that third base role. William Kang obviously got a cup of coffee with us earlier this year. I think he's more of a long-term bench bat. So yeah, there are some pieces that we can be moving around third base-wise. Now what helps Lewis Pittman is, that well-rounded bat. You're going to trust him to play every day and play against everybody. However, that also might make him wait a little bit longer because he doesn't have a super defining skill at the plate quite yet, right? So you don't want to throw him up there if he's only going to be okay. Like if he was really, really good against lefties or righties or whatever, maybe that fast tracks him. Wait until that other handedness develops while getting good playing time, platooning or something. against a certain handedness. He's been really good against lefties. That's kind of just a long, the third base. We have a couple of shortstops and second basemen that we might have to push around if they are ready. Obviously, that Robert Cairo might be ready soon, but is the spot going to open up for him? Who knows? So there's a couple of different things, a couple different avenues that we can look at that position, and he's on a good pace to be there. Obviously, we really like him. Obviously, we try to get him for the last couple of years, and thankfully for us, he was able to not fall to us, but we paid a steep price to get him with Troy Wood, but we were able to pick him up, and we are happy about that. So that is our scouting profile. Which of these two prospects do you enjoy more? And we'll have more on the way here pretty soon, more Colorado Rockies baseball.